Super Bowl 59. Chiefs Eagles rematch from 2 years ago. I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I think it has the potential to be a classic. I'm excited for it, even though I kind of hate both these teams. Let's kind of get into it and break it down real quick and do a little Super Bowl preview. As everybody knows, the Chiefs are going for a three-peat, the first in NFL history, at least in the Super Bowl era. Last time they played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, that's what started the three-peat, what started this current run that they're on. Now, Kansas City gets a chance to bookend their three-peat with wins over the Eagles, and the Eagles get a chance to get revenge from 2 years ago. I think the Eagles are a better team than they were 2 years ago, with Saquon Barkley in there, Quinyon Mitchell at corner, the rookie, Cooper DeJean as well. Jalen Carter has really emerged. Zach Bond at linebacker. Linebacker used to be a huge problem for them the past couple years. Still have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, a third down machine. I mean, this is a really, really complete Eagles team. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, Travis Kelce, of course. Chris Jones on the defensive side of the ball. Trent McDuffie has really emerged. But I do want to say that not having L'Jarius Sneed could really hurt them in this matchup. Anyway, let's get a little deeper into the numbers real quick. So, looking at this Chiefs offense going against this Eagles defense, I have some concerns with the Eagles defense in terms of their pressure rate. They're 26th in the NFL. Now, part of that might be kind of by design in a way. They don't bring as much pressure and kind of play more bend but don't break defense. That's kind of Vic Fangio's style. Play too high, make the offense earn it, everything underneath. And it works for them. And I think in that sense, it could be a similar game from 2 years ago where the Chiefs didn't feel like they had a lot of possessions, but when they did, they scored and they maximized them. But the Eagles made them earn just about everything. So in that sense, it's going to come down to Mahomes and the Chiefs playing mistake-free football, not turning the ball over, being patient, taking what the defense gives you, dinking and dunking down the field. I definitely could see Kelce having a big game. I kind of think regardless of what happens in this game, he's going to retire. And I think the reason that this season has been kind of up and down and he kind of hasn't shown up, it feels like, during the regular season is because he's saving it for the playoffs. He knows they're making the playoffs, so I'm just going to save what I got until then when it matters most. So we could be in for a huge Kelce game in that sense. Another stat to consider, the Eagles are 22nd in the league against QB scrambles. Mahomes is no Lamar Jackson out there scrambling, but when he has to scramble, he gets it done. So we could be in for a big Mahomes rushing game. Pressure rate and quarterback scrambling are the concerns I had with the Eagles defense, but I will say they're first in passing against no pressure, and they're first in passing versus no blitz. This is on the defensive end, by the way, or the defensive side of the ball, by the way. And we know that it's not smart to blitz Mahomes. And this kind of comes back to what I was saying earlier about their pressure rate being so low, potentially by design. And it's really going to come down to Andy Reid scheming some guys open, Mahomes hitting some tight window throws. I think Fangio and that Eagles defense is going to make him earn everything. I'm a lifelong 49er fan, so I am very familiar with Vic Fangio's style of defense and giving some stuff up between the 20s and then tightening up in the red zone and forcing the other team to kick field goals and keeping them out of the end zone. And I think that's going to be kind of the name of the game. If the Eagles D can keep them out of the end zone and force Butker to kick a bunch of field goals, while on the other end the Eagles are able to score touchdowns, that's your formula right there to win. And it could work. With that said, let's kind of transition over to looking at how the Eagles offense is going to match up with this Kansas City defense. An important stat I want to touch on is that this Eagles offense is only 23rd in passing against pressure. And we all know that the king of bringing pressure at the right time, bringing blitzes, is Spags, is Steve Spagnuolo. So I think he's going to throw a ton of stuff at Jalen Hurts to try to throw him off. I also think instead of bringing a ton of pressure, he might hang back, rush 4, but do that thing that the 49ers did last year against the Eagles, that teams figured out if you take away those running lanes for Hurts to scramble into and just collapse his pocket and just keep every D lineman disciplined in their lanes, their pass rushing lanes, and not let Hurts bounce outside or cut up through the middle, then I think the defense could see a lot of success and take away a lot of the things that Jalen Hurts wants to do. Another thing to note about this Chiefs defense is that they press receivers at the highest rate in the league. AJ Brown has the highest average yards per route run against press. So, advantage maybe to the Eagles there. It's going to come down to AJ Brown making some tough catches, Jalen Hurts making some tough throws in a tight windows, because the Chiefs aren't going to make it easy for him. So Hurts will really have to make some tough throws in a tight windows down the field in order to move the ball. Looking at the Eagles offense, I've yet to mention maybe their biggest weapon, their biggest player, Saquon Barkley, who has been incredible this year and is another player that the Eagles did not have 2 years ago, and it showed. I went back and watched that Super Bowl from 2 years ago, and Miles Sanders was wearing number 26, but is definitely not at all the same player that Saquon is. So I expect the Eagles to really try to establish the run, a heavy dose of Saquon on the ground. The Chiefs haven't faced someone like Saquon this year, so there's some real potential there for the Eagles to dominate on the ground and to really push the Chiefs around with their big offensive line as well. With that being said, I think an interesting stat to note is that the Chiefs defense had the lowest missed tackle rate in the NFL this season. And that's going to come up big, stopping the run, stopping Saquon from breaking off these huge 60, 70-yard runs. I don't expect the Chiefs to completely stop Saquon, but they could definitely keep him in check. If there's a team that's going to do it, it's a team like the Chiefs that tackles really well, that plays really disciplined defense, and prevents him from breaking off those game-changing runs. I think Saquon is probably going to be the X factor in this game. I think another sneaky X factor, maybe to a little bit smaller degree, is Dallas Goedert. He has been a third down machine for them. Jalen Hurts is almost perfect when targeting him on third down, and it's going to be tough for Kansas City to stop him. And if they're not able to get off the field on those third downs, it's going to really put them in trouble. Okay, some non-tangible factors to consider. The Chiefs won 15 games, and there's a current curse of 15 wins going around. The Lions lost. In years past, the Panthers lost the Super Bowl. The 49ers lost, I think, in the NFC Championship game when they went 15-1. The Vikings went 15-1 and didn't win. It's a curse, man. And the Chiefs have yet to see that. Although they are the ones with the double magic on their side, so maybe that's why. I think the Eagles overall are a more complete team. I think their coaching might be a little better. It seems like I think Sirianni might be a little bit better than he was in the past. Maybe a little bit more level-headed, a bit more disciplined. Vic Fangio has full control on defense. Though I will say I'm not sure Kellen Moore is a better offensive coordinator than Shane Steichen was. Overall, the coaching edge has to go to the Chiefs with Andy Reid and Spags. Can't find a better coaching staff than theirs in the league. Honestly, football-wise, everything to me is pointing to the Eagles. I just think they're a better team. I think Saquon is really good, almost unstoppable these days. I think Jalen Hurts has been playing some pretty good football in this playoff run, at least the last game or two. Everything in me wants to pick the Eagles. In the football analysis part of my brain, I'm picking the Eagles. But I just can't bet against the Chiefs. I can't bet against Mahomes, Andy Reid, Spags, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. It seems like this three-peat is almost destiny for them. And I just can't bet against Mahomes until I'm proven wrong. So I'm taking the Chiefs. Score prediction 34-27. Overall, I'm just hoping for a phenomenal game.